Hey guys, if you're using a Mac, you might already be familiar with Cmd Shift 4, which basically lets you select an area on your screen to copy it or save it. But what if you wanted to copy and save with one shortcut? This is a problem on the Mac because you do have to go through several steps to do this. For example, Cmd Shift 5 brings up the screenshot app. And after that, you need to manually select the region that you want copied. And you have an additional step to tell it where you want to save the image. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to do both using one shortcut. And here's what we're going to end up with by the end of this video. You'll be able to assign any shortcut like Command Shift Alt C, and this is going to let you select an area on the screen. After that, it'll immediately be saved to your desktop, and you'll have it copied to your clipboard to use anywhere else. To get started, we need to launch the Automator app on our Mac. You can easily just search for it using Command Space or Spotlight Search, but otherwise you can also find it under the Applications folder in Finder. So once Automator starts, let's select Quick Action and then click Choose. Then you'll be seeing a list of actions. We need to look for Run AppleScript. And if you have any trouble finding it, just search for AppleScript at the top. But once you see it, just double click it or click and drag it over to the right side. And on the top, let's set the workflow receives option to no input. And by default, we're gonna leave the second option set to any application. This is us telling it that this action can be called within any app when we're calling the shortcut. And as for all the other options, we'll leave them alone since they're not really relevant to us. But just make sure that they're not any different than what you see here. Now let's point our browser to the AppleScript file that I've provided in the video description. Then click copy raw file because we'll be using this for our shortcut. Then jumping back to Automator, let's replace what we see here by pasting that AppleScript that we copied earlier. And by the way, I do recommend slightly expanding this script area and clicking the hammer icon. It'll help you see all the contents and will look a lot better. Now use Command S or go to File and then Save by giving it a name to call this action. As for me, I'll go with something simple like screenshot copy save. And then we'll click Save or just hit Enter to save our quick action. But before we assign a shortcut to copying and pasting screenshots, let's test this out by making sure that we see our desktop while keeping Automator open. We'll click the Run button. And if you see a crosshair appearing where your mouse cursor is, congratulations, because you can now select any region or area on your screen by clicking and dragging. Since we're running this action for the very first time, you will most likely see a permissions prompt asking you to give permissions to do this. Just click on Open System Settings, and thankfully you only have to do this once for each application that you use this shortcut with. Just make sure that you enable the toggle for each app that's listed here. And then once you provide your user's password, click Quit and Reopen to apply these permissions. And then you'll notice that this toggle is turned on and Automator will reopen. Let's try testing this one more time by clicking Run to trigger our AppleScript. And then just try selecting an area on your desktop. And as soon as you do this, you'll not only see that it gets captured as an image on your desktop, but if you try going to any application after that, like Notes for example, it's copied to your clipboard and you can paste it anywhere. Okay, so now that we know that this works, we need to assign a shortcut for this action. Let's go ahead and jump to Settings by searching for it using Command Space or Spotlight Search, or you can also click the Mac icon from the top left and then click System Settings. Once you see a list of settings, scroll down and click on Keyboard, and then go into Keyboard Shortcuts after that. So shortcuts here are organized by how they're used. What we need to do is find the action that we saved using Automator just a minute ago. And you can do this by clicking Services on the left and then look for General and expand it. You should see the action with the name that you gave it earlier in Automator. And now think of the most perfect shortcut that you'd want to assign for this action, and then double click the None area to the right of that action. To make sure that you're not calling another shortcut, try pressing shortcut keys that don't yet exist. For example, I'm going to go with Command Shift Alt C, and then once you press these keys, you'll see them appear here. So just confirm that they're correct. And also, if you accidentally press something you didn't want, you can double click this area again and then retry. Finally, let's finish this by making sure that our action is checked. And don't forget to make sure that the general section is also checked. This basically means that the shortcut we just assigned is turned on. Click done, and then now it's time to test our shortcut. Just head to your desktop and then press those shortcut keys that you mapped earlier. Your mouse icon instantly changes to capturing mode, and you can start capturing screenshots by clicking and dragging. And by the way, each screenshot will be saved with the current date and time to make sure that it's unique. But again, the great thing about this shortcut is you'll have each screenshot taken, copied straight to your clipboard. Also, for those of you that are using a mouse that allows custom shortcuts, the good part is you might already have options to use software for doing this. For example, I'm using a Logitech MX Master, which lets me map a shortcut for the middle button. But the problem is, by default, it only lets me capture a region by copying or saving it as a file, but not both. Guess what? We've already fixed this problem. So all we have to do is tell it to use that same shortcut. And now our mouse's middle button should be able to trigger that same exact action as our keyboard. But only in this case, we're performing that action using a single button. Just keep in mind that during the first time you use this shortcut with a new application, your Mac might ask you for permissions to do this. For example, here I'm trying to use the shortcut for copying and saving a screenshot using Google Chrome. But again, we just need to grant Chrome permissions for doing this the first time. And then once you do that, you can start taking as many screenshots as you need with that shortcut. And of course, your Mac will guarantee that it gets saved on your desktop while making sure that the image is copied to your clipboard to use anywhere. By the way, if you have a problem with the screenshots being saved to your desktop, no worries, because you can easily change this. Let's first jump to where our Apple script is located. We'll head to our users folder, and then here we need to go into a directory called library. But by default, it's hidden, so you're not going to see it. You can use Command Shift dot to show hidden folders and then find library. And inside library, there's another directory called services. If you step into that, you'll find the Apple script that we created earlier for our action. So double click that and it'll open Automator again for you to make changes to it. You'll want to expand the Apple script contents, and you may have to click the hammer icon again for better visibility. Look for the part where we're setting the screenshot directory, because that's the line that we need to update to change the path of where the images are being stored. So for example, let's change the directory to somewhere in our pictures folder. We'll create a new folder called something simple like screenshots. And then let's go inside this folder. We need to determine the full path of this directory. So we'll go to View, Show Path Bar. And using the path bar on the bottom, right click our folder and choose Copy as Path Name. This means we've copied the full path that we need. And now jumping back to Automator with our Apple script still open, let's replace this path property by pasting the new screenshots path inside double quotes. But before you hit save, let's go ahead and add a trailing slash to the end of this path. Finally, let's save changes here and we'll try testing this out. So if you press the shortcut keys now and then select a screenshot region, the image won't get saved to your desktop anymore. To double check, take a look inside the screenshots folder that we set earlier, and then boom. You're now free to choose where these screenshots are being dropped moving forward. So I hope this helped you find a better and faster way to copy and save screenshots on your Mac with one shortcut. Thanks for watching. And for more on macOS shortcuts, please consider subscribing to this channel.